All right, I'm just getting started on day 42, and I kind of misjudged where the hotel was to get to the course. I've gone it's getting close to 8 miles just to get back on course. Excuse me, God, I did that yesterday too. Along the road that runs right next to the Lake Erie. So I had something happen yesterday that it became quite concerning. I didn't say anything about it because I was hoping that it would go away, but my handlebars, if you're going straight, it's fine, but as soon as you try to turn, they kind of stick, and you had to turn them hard, which made it awkward to ride. And I just started thinking, oh man, the bearings are bad, and I was able to call a friend, John Sieverts, and he hooked me up with somebody from Ventum who I sent a message to. That's the kind of bike I have, is a Ventum, and he said, well, you really need to get a mechanic to diagnose it, but it's possible that it's worn bearing or another clip thing that goes in there. He said, or the top cap's too tight. And so I was thinking, oh man, I gotta get a mechanic in Erie to take a look at it. When I talked to John, I didn't have everything torn apart on the bike to be able to diagnose it better, or maybe he probably would have figured this out too, but I was laying around and it was getting a little later in the afternoon, and Doug Ensign gave me a call to see how things were going. And so we FaceTimed, and he had me loosen the tube cap on the steering, on the handlebars, and then he had me loosen the screws around to hold the stem in, and then he had me loosen the tube cap and then back it off just a little bit, make sure there was no wobble in it, but that it was a little looser, and then tighten the steering tube back down, and then just kind of leave it, make sure there was no wobble, and that corrected the problem. It was such a relief. Hopefully that's what the issue was, and I don't know why that would start happening all of a sudden. I know when the guy who put the tires and the brake pads on, he said he had problems with the front brakes. It's possible he loosened the front tube on the handlebars to be able to get at the cables or something, and then just tightened it down too tight. I don't know. I hate to blame it on him, but hopefully that's what happened, and it's just an issue. It was a little too tight. But I was thinking I'd have to ride the bike that whole way, and it actually was a little dangerous to ride it. It was you'd have to kind of brake the handlebars to the left or right if you're turning. But anyway, today I'm heading to Mentor, Ohio. I'll be going through Cleveland and hoping to have a good day. It's been raining this morning, which I thought I looked at the weather. I didn't see any chance of rain, but I guess that's how it goes. Well, I better pay attention, make sure I'm on the right trail. Okay, one last thing I forgot to mention. You probably wonder why I'm wearing sunglasses early in the morning when it's overcast and raining. And it's not because, as Mark Atwood once said, when you're cool, the sun shines on you all the time. It's because I ran over these things and I broke both the end points off here, or whatever you call those. I want to call them handlebars, but that's not it. And so I've got them held together with Gorilla Tape, so I can't put them anywhere. I can't fold them up and stick them in my pocket. And every time I try to put them somewhere on the bike, it ruins the tape. So that's the reason I actually don't like wearing sunglasses, but when it gets so sunny, I need them. There you go. I know I'm taking too many pictures of this area, but it's just so pretty. These houses with the lakes. The lake looks like you're on the ocean. Well, I made it all the way through Cleveland. You know, it's funny, I didn't have any real great notions about what Cleveland would be like. I guess I always think back to that, I think it was a Drew Carey series that was centered in Cleveland, and they always kind of made fun of it, I think. But it turned out to be just a really cool place. I loved going past the football stadium, and also that kind of lakeshore highway that I rode on. The houses were just incredible. So it turned out to be a huge surprise. It was one of the nicer rides that I've had. It was really good. I did solve the problem to my sunglasses. I found the perfect place to put them right behind there on the bags, in between the two bags. So now they've fallen off and I've lost them somewhere. So I guess I solved that problem. I don't have to worry about how to not fold them up and put them in my pocket. So I'll have to get some different sunglasses. Made it to Kirtland, Ohio. These are really neat buildings. Here's the Kirtland Temple. That was fun for me to see. I've read tons of history about Kirtland, Ohio, and And especially recently in the last 4 or 5 years, 3 or 4 years, we've studied it a lot more. So it was neat to be able to drop down there. It was maybe 5 miles off the route, and a couple of things surprised me. I didn't realize it was so close to Cleveland. And then, although this seems like a really rural, can't say that word very well, area, it's not far from the city at all. It's really beautiful here, kind of hilly, and I wanted to go see some more of the stuff, but you have to wait for the tour and get in the tour before they'll let you in some of the stuff, and everybody who knows me knows that I don't have the patience to wait 20 minutes to get in the tour. So I saw what I needed to see and wanted to see, and it was awesome. I'm glad I took this little detour. Now I have about 7 miles to get to the hotel, and we'll call it a day. It's been a really nice riding day. It got rain. It rained a good part of the morning, and that kept it cool. Now the sun's out, and it's really pretty. I'll give you the details here at the end. Here's today's Strava details. Here's today's Strava day map, and you can see how I went backwards for a couple miles. And then here's the overall Northern Tier progress so far.